Alright, that should be about enough of that. Hey guys, hey, hi, it's me, it's Tech How you guys doing? Sorry for, if you're one of the zero live watchers, I'm sorry for the particularly long waiting setting up screen. I had to excuse myself to the privacy. I wonder what did it. Was it the very old chicken patty, or was it the very old pad see ew that I had? By the way, not a very agreeable meal. Sorry, by the way, for leaving. There's a part of me that wishes that I could have more than just the this music here going on, but I can't actually go into the music. I mean, I can go into the music and play music here. You go like do that one or that one. That's a nice one to do, actually. I would like to do that. However, the second I leave, I do that, and I'd like to have something up. Although, it does give me an idea. Something for next time, maybe. All right. How's everyone doing today? I hope you guys are doing pretty good. As I settle on in, I don't know that there's anything particularly new going on. Oh, I do have to send someone a very quick Discord message. Hold on. You know, oh wait, here. Why don't we get some of the other music going? Let's say, what's this one? Yeah, sure. Send in a real quick Discord message. I guess you can consider it a business message. Alright, that takes care of that. This stream has been a lot of just listening to the ambient music of Ataraxia, but we're starting now, like for real. Without further ado, let's go. Although I will say, we've been quite thorough. Oh gosh. Alright, well. Nothing to do but the main path. I already regret my choice of bumpers. Hold on, let me see if I can. See if I can find something a little bit better. This is so silly. Oh? Mm-hmm. What's a good one? What's a good old one that I haven't used in forever? I like, let's do this one. All right. No signs of people in the plaza. The house of God stands quiet, no visitors in sight. The place stands far away from the world, further still from heaven, a place of confession for the lost. A girl unknown to me is waiting at the church, whether it be the first time or the last, it has no meaning here. So she is something that never existed to begin with. She is everywhere and nowhere. It was like him. The flow of time is irrelevant here. If I'm not mistaken, I visited this place for the second time. As time reconfigures itself, I start walking towards the church. Of course, I don't really have any business here. I got all the information I needed last time. It's obvious that the woman is still hiding something from me, but I don't think she'll tell me anything more than she did last time. Okay. Let's see if we can do something. Her help isn't needed to resolve this incident. Really, I have no business being here. I place my hand on the door while grumbling. There are both good premonitions and bad ones. Without a doubt, this sudden urge to come here isn't going to be a good one for me. Somebody else maybe, though. The hymn continues. I take a seat and wait for the end of a long reminiscence. The closed garden, the overlapping fingers, the discordant noise, old bitter dreams and weak malice. It's a story from not long ago. The priest that was here half a year ago would rend open the hearts of people with his words and actions. His methods were indirect and coercive. He would seize an opening and trample upon their deep wounds. Bastard. That woman is the same as the priest. Her methods differ, but this music deprives people of their affections as well. It's somehow unsettling. It's most likely an incredible performance, but I can't bring myself to embrace it. Alone in untrodden land, counting the breeze. This place is far away, deeper than everything, an empty sky. It says rest your mind and let yourself stop moving forward. It says take a break. If you are tired, you should rest your wings here. Just the mic, yeah. That kind of talk is irresponsible. Telling someone to rest when they don't have the power to stand in the first place is like telling them to end it altogether. You must not stop. You must not seek rest. Once you've started, you must fill the cup to the brim. Abundantly decorated. Continue on in circles to fill the sky. The abyss of slumber before the end. The built temple. Performance is over before I knew it. Oh, mic stand. Please. Please cooperate with me, mic stand. We should do it over. Yeah. Maybe about there. Oh, you silly thing. Okay. Why did it keep falling? I breathed a sigh of relief once I no longer have to listen to that unbearable Pierce. And before I knew it, that woman is standing right in front of me. Hey, nicely done. Good piece. I lift my head without standing and begin to applaud. Fiddling with my microphone. Jesus Christ, I hope you guys can't hear this. It's just annoying me. Why, thank you. You've been interested in music. Yeah, I got into it recently. If you investigated me, you probably know this already, but I don't actually have a lot of hobbies. I only really started listening to organ music after I met you. How do I put this? I guess it just goes to show how well you play. Apparently my blatant flattery paid off as Caren nods, satisfied. You weren't even listening. And brazenly complains under her breath. You noticed? judging by her reaction, she must find it meaningless to even answer. Well then, the silence is a bit awkward. This is loud as fuck, hold on. Turn it down there and maybe raise it back up my ears again. I don't know if it's this specific piece, but it feels really long. I hate that I have to fiddle with the sound to make myself feel good about it. Somehow time goes by. I didn't care about talking with her in the first place, so I'm completely okay with this unpleasant silence. I settle into my seat and squint towards the sun rays, beaming through the skylights. Just to confirm, didn't you say you had no further business with me? Yeah, I did, but this is a church after all. You saying I can't come here unless I have business with you? I immediately respond to her unspirited question. That's right. I cannot refuse those who have lost their way. And again, you are not exactly a lost lamb. That's kind of harsh. Can't argue, though. Yeah, I got nothing I want to confess, so I guess I really have no business with you. Then we have nothing in common, do we? Our conversation ends on that note. The church fills with silence once again. She ought to understand my stance here, and yet Caren stands, unmoving in front of me. Why must you be in such a weird angle? I did not set you up this way. We haven't gotten any business with each other, so she could just leave me alone and go back to her room. Don't you have something else to talk about? Like I already said, I don't. This is annoying. If we don't talk about something, she'll be standing here like this forever. Alright, you talk then. Huh? Don't give me that. If I've got nothing to talk about, then you just have to fill out the gap, right? I've got nothing to talk about, but if you talk, I'll listen. I see. That is quite right. But what should I talk about? Anything's fine, I guess. When there's nothing else, things like your background or hobbies make for good topics. Sharing about yourself with others is a foundation of communication. That's true. But are you alright with something like that? Shit. Sure, if you talk, I'll listen. I'm not really interested, but if this woman wants to talk, I can't stop her. You came here in the first place, Shirou. Besides, no matter what kind of talk it is, it'll probably be entertaining as long as it's something I don't really know. Understood. I feel this is necessary for you to hear. There might be something meaningful even in this. After that, Caren goes silent for a short while. Probably because she isn't used to talking about her own history. She seems to enter a deep meditation while trying to recall her past in silence. In the end, it was a predictably tedious tale. She was born in a country in southern Europe and lost her parents soon after. Her father was unknown to begin with. Her mother had a weak constitution and died 1 year after her birth. Official records state she was killed by a robber, but in reality she seemed to have taken her own life. The church treats suicide as a transgression of the Lord's teachings. It's not a mortal sin, but those who have taken their own lives will never pass through the gates of heaven and will suffer eternal torment in purgatory. It's actually a pretty good story. Her mother was a devout believer that, in the final moments of a painful life, found a purpose great enough to rebel against the Lord. However, that purpose her mother found was meaningless to a small child. No matter how wonderful the meaning she found was for her, didn't change the fact that she turned against the teachings of the Lord and left her child behind. Nobody was left to care for the child. It's a good thing I changed the bumpers. Her mother had no relatives, and her father didn't come forward. The prevailing opinion among the people was that her terminally ill mother had birthed the child from an unknown man like a harlot. With no relatives, the child was entrusted to the priest of a small church. Her mother was a believer that took her own life. Her child was placed in the hands of an exemplary devout priest, who looked with contempt upon the woman who had premarital sex with a passing stranger. The child was entrusted to the house of God without a single piece of luggage. However, she did have one belonging. The shroud? Caren. Her mother had left her nothing but a name. The priest did not give her his family name, instead leaving it the same as the mother who had committed suicide. That name was Hortensia. It's the name of a certain flower that blooms on rainy days. Hortensia. The girl lived with the priest for about 8 years. The priest was filled with love towards the Lord, but shared no love for the child he had taken in. He was provided funds for her upbringing, yet made her work as a servant at the church instead of sending her to school. Just by being born, the girl had sinned. She was not baptized at the time of her birth, and until baptized, to welcome her into childhood, she would be given nothing of the Lord's love. The priest declared that, until then, the human known as Caren would not be recognized as a child of God. However, it was questionable if this unusually strict priest would be generous enough to baptize an orphan at all. There were 2 reasons why the priest did not grant her a proper education. In order to reduce unnecessary expenses, and to prevent her from gaining knowledge. In order to reduce unnecessary... knowledge must not be given to the child of a beast. That's the first step towards wickedness, and more than anything else, it'd be inconvenient in various ways if she gained the capacity to think for herself. After all, defiance and exclaiming harmful truths to the masses would affect the dignity of the house of God. To pray was all the priest permitted her to do. He instructed her to give herself to God. This continued for 8 years. Maybe she became used to suffering. Or maybe her emotions were broken from birth, like her father's. The girl didn't think of her life as difficult. She learned of the Lord and of man by watching the priest. She perfected her innocent prayers over those 8 years. Then came the year when the girl was of age to receive baptism. Stigmata appeared on her body, and the priest accepted his defeat. He could no longer control her. He opened the gates of the church that imprisoned her and handed it over to a much larger world. The fortress-like structure of the monastery was built deep in the forest. She cut her connections to the outside world and earnestly continued abiding the teachings of the Lord in a larger prison. It was a separate world. For the men who lived there, it embodied the very virtues of poverty, purity, and meekness that they strove for. The monastery was a self-sufficient community consisting of devout followers, and all necessities for living were made within the monastery. The followers made their own food and clothing, and as modest pleasures, a small amount of wine and cheese. Detailed rules for each monastery are different, but the principles are the same. There was only labor for living and prayer for the Lord. Inside the high walls, there was a world of peace and harmony. To achieve a union with God, they renounced the ways of the world and formed a closeted, closed society of the chosen faithful. Naturally, that lifestyle requires more discipline than at a local church in every aspect. The girl was accepted by the Cistercian order? I don't know how to pronounce that. Among the monasteries, that place had a particularly long history and strict discipline, where love of the Lord rivaled even the worth of a person's life. To eat, to work, to worship, choose. Even those universal rights were not extended to those not loved by the Lord. By that standard, the girl did not even have basic human rights. No, her very existence was unforgivable. It was unthinkable that the venerable I'm going to say Cistercian order would take in an orphaned child into its ranks. The girl was accepted into the monastery solely because of the stigmata that dwelled within her body. To spontaneously be wounded, to bleed, and to be healed. Knowledge of this ordeal is passed down by the faithful. From the perspective of those believers who live on the other side, it was clear that the girl possessed an unusual power. When it was recognized that she was an advanced spirit medium, that she could sense the nearby drifting spirit matter, act as an intermediary and materialize it into this world through her own flesh, the girl's value skyrocketed. That unusual ability is not something that can be cultivated with the training. An ability held from birth. It is a genetic predisposition unrelated to the will of the individual. Such a rarity having a high value is only natural. Caren Hortensia's rare talent will achieve unprecedented results in a particular ritual. In its report, the Holy Church entrusted the young girl to the Cistercian monastery. But then again, no matter how valuable she became, the Church never bestowed the Lord's love to her. The girl was given a room, an education, and trained as an instrument of the Lord. She was taught to conduct herself as a perfect believer so that she would not bring shame upon the Church's name whenever she went outside. As a general rule, a person who entered the monastery could not live outside of it. They may move on to other monasteries, but being outside of the monastery altogether was not permitted. However, she was not invited to be a Cistercian nun. An agent. She was delivered only as an armament at the church for assistance in demon exorcisms. A weapon is intended to be guided by the hands of man. She is permitted to leave the monastery only when her unusual talents were required to make known of the Lord's might. The might of the Lord is not meant to be turned towards humanity. It should be directed towards the wild ones, who do not fear the Lord, the demons that threaten humanity. To manifest evil, a demon has to take over a human's body. To cleanse this person and reveal God's love to humanity was the task given to the woman. No, to the agent using the woman. She was employed by an exorcist. A special priest, one is allowed to act as a representative from the bishops of the diocese. They answer calls for aid, visiting the towns of the possessed to exorcise demons. It was closer to fighting than praying. Her master frequently said to himself that the work was like washing the bottom of hell's cauldron. Exorcisms vary in severity, and the ones her master faced were the particularly intense ones. They did not concern themselves with imposters who blamed their own mental breakdowns on demons or with monster outbreaks. Their opponents were those who had completely turned into demons. The tragedy caused by a true demon isn't something that can be endured by the human mind. All towns visited by the exorcist had deviated from the world of humans. The damage inflicted by a demon isn't limited to the possessed, but also spreads to the people around them. More than the possessed person, their spirits, rather than their bodies, are twisted into deformed monstrosities. As her master would say, wasn't far from a tour of hell. In an exorcism, the weak point is that most easily succumbs to death is none other than the one human's reason. The body's ability to survive is not that important. In the first place, the extent of a human's power cannot compare to the likes of those who has turned to a demon. Yeah, that was too loud. Back down you go. The physical body is protected by a holy relic embodying the miracle of the Lord. However, this spirit must be defended by one's own will. However, what is required is an exorcism of his ironclad faith. In that respect, this woman was suited for the exorcism. It's probably for the best that her emotions shifted so little. It is said that the exorcism of a true demon is something that cannot be endured twice, but she continued to perform them indifferently. The woman was valued highly. She had the life of a nun and the role as an agent of the church. The workload assigned to her was nothing short of backbreaking. It probably would have overcome any normal person within a month's time. Although, as far as she was concerned, it was not that much different from the daily work she was used to do. For her, who couldn't really understand things like fun, torture had become indivisible from work. Hola et lascitia, pray and work. It's ironic. These words, which symbolize the monastery, had come to symbolize her own life as well. So in short, the church handed you off to a monastery and you found your true calling? Yes, it wouldn't be wrong to put it that way. Caren seems to pat a little as she nods. Oops. Was she offended that I summed it all up a bit too much? What is it? Did that touch a nerve? Yes, that surprised me. It would have been better if I explained it that way from the beginning. May you use that summarized versions of yours from now on? Her admiration and proposal are both sincere. Whatever. Honestly, don't get this girl at all. That's fine. You're the copyright holder. If you want to use it, then by all means, go ahead. Thank you. What you have succinctly stated is very true. I'm not sure how to react to seeing her act that pleased right after telling me such a depressing story. Well, somehow I just felt that way. Turn that back up. Just a little bit. Can't keep monkeying around with this fucking thing. This woman is actually pleased with having that kind of life up to now. Well, that's fine. Since you've gone this far, I might as well hear the whole story. What do you do during an exorcism? Well, no, it's not fun. It's not, but I want to clarify this part first. I do not do anything. I have not been granted the rites nor sacraments to exorcise a demon. I simply accompany my master. Wait, you mean you just follow him? That's all? What the hell? Is this guy she's calling Master a coward? Don't tell me that he was just afraid to go into towns where the possessed were by himself. I would not ask the reason for your indignation, but the conclusion you must have carelessly reached, is mistaken. Those who become exorcists do not fear demons. The only thing to fear is the shattering of one's own mind. That's pretty impressive, but in that case he'd be perfectly fine all by himself, right? Wasn't there no need for him to bring you along? What's that? What about that masochistic pneumatic automatism diathesis thing you have? If you get close to demons, you get the same symptoms as someone who's possessed, right? Fucking mouthful. In that case, he'd be a nuisance rather than an assistant. It's like jumping into a fire while covered in gasoline. That is my role. To take spiritual damage, and it's the shortest path to identifying the demons. Demons are not visible to the human eye. It is not known that someone is possessed until they transform. Or rather, the true demons are clever. So they conceal themselves with the possessed, so as not to attract the attention of the enemies until reaching maturity. They try to suppress the symptoms as much as possible. Like that one guy in that light novel that I not light novel, that visual novel that I haven't read yet, but I am going to on this channel. What was it called again? I started this bit joking, but now I don't remember actually. Hold on. Tsukihime. And the guy I'm talking about is Roa. There it is. Anyway. Unfortunately, the church has no way to exorcise the demon once fully matured. The only thing exorcists can do is find them before they're grown and exorcise them. So once they have become a demon, we have no choice but to incinerate them. The only ones able to do that are agents that specialize in heretic inquisition. Ah, so that's your purpose. A sudden emotion destabilizes me. I feel just a bit disgusted. Demons can't be seen by humans. Only the host knows he is possessed. The first and most difficult step in an exorcism is finding the demon that conceals its true identity. Even for a skilled exorcist, identifying a demon is like walking on a tightrope at all times. This is where she is useful. She has an idiosyncrasy that responds lustfully to the surrounding demons and evil spirits, and causes the effects of the possession on its own. From the church's perspective, it's an extraordinary heresy. Although it would normally be a useless genetic trait that would be harmful to even let exist, there's one specific purpose for which its radical effectiveness is demonstrated. In short, this girl's a living detector that sheds blood to inform others of demons. It makes a tearing noise. It breaks her arms, crushes her legs, and rips her womb from the inside. Even if the form returns, the function does not. The sight of those dull golden eyes was lost long ago. This bell-like voice may not even resound in reality. These are her true colors. She's a messenger of God who saves others by mutilating herself until death. So that's why. I see. Her true calling is well said. No wonder you're even chosen by the Holy Shroud of Magdalene. I know what it's supposed to be. It takes some kind of reason to endure such unreasonable pain. She gives unimaginable pain to herself. Even if she doesn't want it, injuring herself is still a masochistic act. You cannot injure yourself out of hatred. Her deeds are not something that can be done without love or faith. I'm just asking, but can you refuse? You can't, right? You would have refused if you could. That is also incorrect. The church is strict, but it's not inhumane. One has the right to refuse participation in an exorcism. So why do you bother helping at all? Because there is meaning in it. Besides, neither outside nor inside are any different to me. Going outside to perform exorcisms and being inside the monastery are no different. So that's it. I thought before that she was riddled with bandages and reeked of disinfectant, but it's no wonder. A demon stings at the very heart of a human. No matter where she goes, she can't avoid being hurt. That's bullshit. That's no good reason to take part in exorcisms. Don't you have even one complaint? I understand that I have a handicap compared to others, but that's what I was born with. There's no point in feeling bitter about it. If I was born this way, I just have to abide by my fate. What? Haven't you even thought about curing it? If it's something like a disease, at least do something to improve your health. No care has been found for it. Nor do I wish for one. It is enough just to be able to pity myself over my misfortune. Besides, although I certainly do become injured, but I know those are not my wounds, but rather those of someone else. It is pity I have, rather than resentment. Holy shit. The hell? Holy shit. The hell is she talking about? You're saying you're fine like this? Yes, since I came into the world like this, it is simply the destiny I followed. She said she'll take everything as it is. I can't speak for how someone else might take it, but this kind of thing doesn't sit well with me. Which is weird to say. Hey, what are you on out of your life? Is a meaning in life necessary? No, I wouldn't worry about something like that. But it's like you're living to do nothing. Things like that are just piss me off, you know? Someone had complained about something like this sometime or another. It was... I don't like it when people aren't rewarded for their hard work. When were those words said? I wouldn't call it saintly. After all, those imposters known as saints don't try to award results. Because it doesn't fit the equality they preach. They never speak of being rewarded in the end. That's why these are nothing but thoughtless words. It's not even hypocrisy, but a questionable, naive wish. The atmosphere changed again, hasn't it? The atmosphere changed again, hasn't it? Only a moment ago you were frustrated. Now it's clear that you are angry. Apparently she could read my expression even with her eyes closed. But unfortunately, it's not quite right. It's not that I got angry just now, but I'm always in a bad mood when I'm here. Well, whatever. I guess that's your policy. There was no need to speak out over every little thing. I don't like it, but have it your way. I see, you and Miyashiro are someone who cannot be patient. She pushes back with a blunt tone. It is her turn to be angry now. Is it her turn to be angry now, or did she just return to her usual self? She looks at me with the conceited eyes appropriate for this church. What was that? Nothing, really. I know someone very similar to you, so I just compared you with him. Although he is someone who can be patient. Although you two would not agree on anything really, you do have some interesting points in common. She grins broadly. I don't think it's appropriate to be a substitute for a substitute priest to flaunt her malicious intent. I don't understand what you're saying. There's nothing I'd have in common with this guy, you know, right? Everyone knows except the persons themselves, isn't that how it goes? Miyashiro is a good man who kills his own desire and cannot forgive the irrationality of the world. Whereas the other man is a villain who embraces his own desire and ignores the injustice of the world. Even though you are polar opposites, you have far too much in common. Just like a demon appearing through opposing mirrors. An unpleasant smile appears on her face. I figured out something. Caren has even less individuality than I do, but she gets excited by the idea of rubbing on someone's weak spot like the moment she discovers it. The troubling part is how effective her nose for that stuff is. This woman uses her unmatched senses to sniff out the scars of others. So who's this polar opposite of mine? He's a figure from an old tale. In a certain land there was a sinner that shouldered the sins of everyone in the land, and received punishment for them until his death. He was a very virtuous young man, but he was chosen to be a sinner simply by chance. It was an act carried out by the will of man, but because the people did not directly choose it, it might be said to be the will of heaven. The will of heaven, huh? He was imprisoned and abused because of something like that? There's no doubt he told the grudge against the world. No, the grudge he held only lasted for a few years. In the end, he forgave all of mankind. Jesus? He watched the world change over a long time. Undoubtedly, he forgave them all. So his hatred didn't last long? Come on, that's just what his assailants would think, right? That is likely, right? The hatred that had taken root in him can already be called eternal. Hating humans is as natural to him as breathing is to us. That's the kind of entity he's become. That hatred is no longer an emotion, but a way of life. Like that, he affirmed everything. The world deserves to be hated. There is an endless variety of humans, so whatever happens can't be irrational. Do as you like, since I will offset the irrationality with hatred. He forgave many events and the evil desires of masses, saying, even that is fine. That's kind of amazing. That's not just a good guy, that's a saint. Not quite. Sometimes affirming everything becomes the greatest evil. Do you not understand? Forgiving everything is to simplify it all by reasoning that the strong are strong and the weak are weak. Moreover, he praises an individual's desires. He says, do you think that, do what you think is good for yourselves. Having no concept of good and evil, he simply affirms all things as they are. What a troublesome person, Caren adds. That certainly sounds troublesome. A mindset like that would end up endorsing crime. Isn't that guy bad? You're a representative of God, so go haul him in before it's too late. Come on, you could use something like that red cloth. Capture was its specialty. Rest assured, there is no reason to capture him. He is indeed a desirable being, but even leaving him be is probably fine. He is fundamentally incompetent and harmless. Didn't you just say something really mean? He simply stated the truth. At any rate, because of his passive nature, he is quite lazy. He doesn't have the initiative to carry out evil acts. Well, that's alright then. So, where is this guy? Where are this guy? So where are this guy and I alike? You don't understand? Really? Despite simply being a matter of hating the world despite loving it, or loving the world despite hating it. You don't see that you two, despite being so fundamentally different, merely have the order reversed? I'm asking because I don't understand. So I was about to say, but it seemed like a waste of time. I didn't come to talk about that sort of thing to begin with. I just came here on a whim, listening to her talk as I pleased. I have no obligation to rack my brains over some uncomfortable doubt like this. Question: why did we start talking about this? It's obvious now that Caren's switch has been flipped. A contrived shift in the behavior is something I've seen often with Tosaka Rim. I'm surprised you don't understand this either. You're really quite thick-headed, aren't you? If you mean I'm bad at picking up on others' feelings, yeah, I agree. So, what's your reason for pissing me off? Unbelievable. Very well, I will answer this one. Not just now as payback for selfishly examining me. Examining? I haven't even tried imagining what's underneath that unfashionable robe of hers, but it's like you're living to do nothing. Well, I might have been offended by her saying something that was a bit too on the nose. In any case, I think staying here any longer would be even more uncomfortable. I'm going home. Go catch some random guy in the park if you want to talk so much. It's a simple matter of going whoosh with that red cloth of hers. As I said, I cannot go outside very often. You don't have any spare time? I did until I met you, but now I don't have time to mess around. You've given me an object for the time being. Getting response and comprehension. That's right. I figured out my path from here on. I socialize with her because she's a valuable source of information, but I should hurry back if there's no more leads. See ya. If I come again, try to be at least a little more helpful. I promise. If you lost your way, the next time you come, I will guide you to the correct path. In exchange, please tell me one more time. Where do you wish to resolve this anomaly? That's... Well... Then... Why is it exactly? Why am I obsessed with the resolution of this anomaly? Even though after the fourth day, it'll be as though nothing ever happened anyway. No, that... It was a foolish question, wasn't it? I was the one who said you were an impatient person. For Rider and Shirou, it is only natural to extend a hand to someone in need. With a poof, all that vanishes. Now that she mentions it, that's right. Because it was something that I didn't need to think twice about, it probably didn't even need a reason at all. I can't believe it. But those are the kinds of thoughts that fill this head of mine. Oh boy. Stand up to leave. She looks at me as though she still has something to say. Do you dislike this place so much? But perhaps city life is more stimulating? That's half right. I hate this place, but compared to wandering around town, well, at least it has some new flavor. They say you'll get tired of even a feast if you don't try different foods every now and again. It's simply enough to have my everyday normal life to go back to. Things like excitement and passion can come later when I've forgotten about them. Just how it is. Can't stomach either you or this place, but I'll come again if I feel like it. See ya. I start walking towards my daily life. Is your everyday life fun, Shirou? Who knows? It's not so intensely fun that I need to give special thanks to it. I have to confess, rather than calling it fun, it's also dazzling. It's sometimes a little painful. I leave that foul church behind. While the organ's venom's fading, I could finally think straight again. With the organ's venom fading, Caren said it's only natural for Shirou to save someone. Huh? But still, just who am I trying to save? Everyone? Her? I don't know. Are we skipping days again? Skipping days, alright. He's having fun. He's doing something else. We just don't get to see it. I'm calling it a day. Do. Interesting. I didn't even choose anything yet. I gaze at the pleasant blue sky. Taking a break after a meal to enjoy some tea out on the veranda is a pretty special reward. It is the very ordinary nature that makes such an everyday happiness the best. So I've looked it up, and there were, in fact, a mastered servant that matched. On the fourth day of the Holy Grail War, the ones to drop out were the Ironsburns. Hey, pay attention. After all that trouble I went into checking this, you'd better be listening to me. What? No, what? Tosaka? I'm momentarily confused. Yeah, I was right. I looked down to find Tosaka sitting behind me. It's me, all right. You don't mean to say you didn't hear a word I just said, did you? A sarcasm-free, direct-to-the-point question that is very uncharacteristic of Tosaka. The Tosaka heir is infuriated to the point of forgetting her own family's always elegant motto. Sorry, I don't think I did. Actually, what are you doing here, Tosaka? I'm worried that you might have just teleported here or something. I truly don't have any memory of Tosaka coming out here and just sitting down next to me. Wait, are you saying you didn't even realize I'd come home? Of course not. I'm not that out of it. Give me some credit here. I probably just didn't notice that you come out here to relax and didn't realize that you were talking to me until now. Sounds like you were pretty out of it to me. Oh, forget it. Either you're having some weird dream or else you're just tired from the torment over these quote-unquote 4 days, I guess. I'm willing to just let this go as you're being tired this time. Again, I'm sorry. I'm a bit scared right now, but I just... Ugh. Again, I'm sorry. I'm a bit scared now myself, and also, it's not like I'm half asleep or anything, so could you stop peering at me like that? Yeah, you're right. I'm a little too close, aren't I? Tosaka leaps to her feet. Until a moment ago, she was incredibly close to simply pushing me down. Alright, I'll go over it one more time. Let's start by dealing with these 4 days of yours. For now, let's proceed with the assumption that the cause is someone's wish on the Holy Grail. I believe that the clue to understanding who this someone is lies in the nature of the 4-day boundary. At first, I thought that the Grail's power might have a limitation that allows for no more than 4 days to be reproduced. But if that's the case, I don't see why they wouldn't repeat 1 day forever instead. I don't think their limitation was to try and conserve the Grail's power. I think you're right about that. The holder of the Grail, the summoner, would have their wish granted, and that would be it. There's no way they'd go, I'll try and save some magical energy for later. Right, so there must be some other reason they're saving the 4 days like this. For some reason, the one contracted to the Holy Grail can only reproduce the first 4 days of the Grail War. So there you have it. The point here is that what's happening is not a new start or a restart, but a reproduction. Do you know what this means, Emiya-kun? Yeah, more or less. Whoever this is, they've experienced the Grail War and are now reproducing it. Good job. It's a self-evident truth once you realize it. The fact that only 4 days are being repeated isn't because there isn't enough power from the Grail. The person had experienced just those 4 days of the Holy Grail War to begin with. Having dropped out of on the 4th day, they simply do not know what happened afterwards. So this person is a master who was eliminated on the 4th day? But there wasn't one. Not in our Holy Grail War, that is. So I looked over the records of the previous Holy Grail Wars for masters who were sent off during the 4th day. But the previous war has nothing to do with this? It's the 5th one that we were involved in, which is being repeated. You think so? It might be a little different than that. Speaking figuratively, the 4 days are a blank script, and we're the actors. Since the script is blank, the actors can improvise freely. But there's a set performance time of 4 days. Hello? Oh. Tosaka jumps backwards. Tosaka? The berry's responding to something. Shirou, come with me. Seems you have an unwelcome guest outside. Oh yeah, there it is. You're right. It's very soft, but I can hear the alarm going off. Wow, you noticed it before the actual alarm. She's likely set up a similar barrier around herself as well. Ever since leaving for London, Tosaka's power has been steadily rising. What an ominous prospect. Right on Tosaka's heels, I head outside. Without turning to face me, Tosaka gestures behind her back for me to stay on the alert and cover her. I reply with a nod and ready myself for a battle. Facing Tosaka now is... Oh shit, it's Bazette. A woman I've never seen before. In the flesh, that is. Hello? Oh, hello. What business brings you here on such a fine day, Miss Mage from the Association? I forget what her voice was. I think I also tried doing an accent with her. I could ask you much the same question. I believe this is the residence of Mr. Emiya Kuretsugu, which oddly explains what you might be doing here. I recall hearing that he had an adopted child, but... Do you want something with Emiya-kun? He shouldn't have any ties to the association yet. If you have a message for him, I would be happy to hear it as an intermediary and pass it on. Tosaka's grinning, but there's a firm rejection written all over her face. In reply, I do not wish to fight you right now. I have no choice but to respond when faced with pointless vigilance. However, we are in a public place. Silence that magic quest of yours at once. The woman casually pushes back. It seems like Tosaka had activated the crest on her arm. Having her potential insurance against a surprise attack seen through so quickly makes her grow even more agitated. But Tosaka should have already realized how meaningless it is. The woman standing before us isn't looking for a fight, nor does it seem like she's planning a surprise attack. That's because, her power as a mage is easily 3 times the level of Tosaka's. Damn. That's saying something. If this woman made up her mind to fight us, she wouldn't even need a surprise attack to overpower us completely. Understood. Would that mean that you have only come here today to observe? Correct. I have not come here to fight as a master. I guess she's British. However, I must say I am unimpressed by your carelessness. I think that you would fail to keep Saber close by simply because it is daytime. Keep Saber close by? Tosaka's voice sounds a touch perplexed. I see. Both of us are still alive, which means we haven't met each other. Meaning that this talk is best finished quickly. I can't make heads or tails of this monologue of hers. The woman's gaze is fixed on Tosaka. Their conversation doesn't match up. All it will take is the mention of the date, servants, or even the woman calling Tosaka by name. Neither Tosaka nor this woman seem to notice the chasm that will make itself known with the moment one of them misses a step. Her balancing act precarious enough to send shivers down my spine. This is a miracle on the level of walking across a bottomless pit on a tightrope. I look on wordlessly. I don't know how many times now Tosaka's told me not to interfere should a mage at the association come. As I survey the woman standing before me, I feel dazed, or more accurately, astonished. The one who wasn't there, who shouldn't have existed at all, the 8th Master. What a strange conversation this is turning out to be. Have you come to hand down some... Oh. Okay. What a strange conversation this is turning out to be. Have you come to hand down some judgment concerning the legacy of Emi Kiritsugu now, after so much time has passed? He's a freelance mage. I don't recall his ever being affiliated with the association. I have no jurisdiction over the legacy of Mr. Emiya. I'm simply interested in him as the victor of the previous Holy Grail War. Are we not the same in this respect? After all, it is in order to obtain the Holy Grail slumbering in this great town that you have come to the Emiya residence like this. Tosaka's doubt turns into confidence. The misaligned gears are shifted back to place, and this disjointed conversation has finally started to make sense. Wait a minute. What's this misunderstanding the association has about the Grail? The Holy Grail War is over. The ritual was a complete failure, and the cornerstone used for its summoning was destroyed. The 5th Holy Grail War of Fuyuki was also the last. A magnificent sense of balance. And yet she's slipped up. Of course, the tightrope walking cannot continue forever. It's an obvious fact, and yet this woman still came all the way here. Why? Let me confirm something. Did you just say the 5th Holy Grail War is already over? I feel a chill. If she were to nod, a fistfight would occur the very next instant. And yet, despite tremendous bloodlust emanating from the woman, Tosaka goes ahead and nods right in front of her. That's correct. It's no longer possible to summon a miracle in this city. Due to the illegal actions of the supervisor Kodamine Kyrie, dispatched by the church to oversee the 5th Holy Grail War, the ritual was shut down. Not only the association, but also the church were forced to remove their influence from this land due to his death. Kodamine Kyrie? Something falls. Though the woman has already used her Though the woman was ready to use her strength to push away, even the fact of the Holy Grail War being over, at the sound of that single name, she let the mask of steel fall away. Otamine is dead? That's right. He's been dead for half a year now. He was defeated by Emiya Shirou, the victor of the 5th Holy Grail War. Tosaka's eyes shift towards me. Emiya Shirou? I have never heard of a master by that name. No, for a winner of the 5th Holy Grail War to exist already. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way I will recognize one, says the burning hatred in this woman's eyes. Several seconds pass. Osaka takes a step forward, protecting me. Hey, something's been bothering me all this time. I wonder if you'd mind me asking about it now? What happened to that arm of yours? She asks a very odd question. Two surprised voices make themselves heard. As though suddenly remembering something, the woman reaches out her right hand to her left arm, and everything comes falling down. I had no time to call out to her. The woman flees at full speed, running as though she'd just seen a ghost. Although if you'd asked me, I'd say it was Tosaka and I who were visited by one. It seems the Mages Association is short on capable members at the moment, too. I wonder if their rank and file management isn't quite up to speed. Either she has no desire to chase after the woman, or she doesn't dare try. After saying a line that sounds like she read it from the script, Tosaka turns around to face me. Well, it looks like she won't be back anytime soon. She was the most mentally stable person I've ever met, but her powers are the real deal. She could have beaten the both of us with one hand tied behind her back, so it's lucky for us that she decided to leave of her own will. So, Emi-kun, do you know her? I've never seen her before. No, neither have I. Is that so? You sure to get completely disregarded. She's real sharp as a mage, and it seems like she completely failed to notice that you're a mage as well, Emi-kun. That's not it. Rather than ignoring me, it seemed more like she never noticed I was there at all. So she's one of the types who thinks that the vast difference in our level of ability makes me unworthy of her consideration. Suddenly, my training feels very inadequate. If so, it'll be bad. I'm pretty sure she's the enemy you're looking for. If you're planning on doing something about her, you better make sure you do it with Saber by your side. And so, Osaka directs a backward glance at me, her brightness of a moment ago vanishing. I'm not sure what it is you're trying to say, but if it turns into a fight, I should make sure Saber is part of it. Is that it? Right. If she's still too much for you even then, go ask Lancer about it. He should know what we're dealing with when it comes to her. This encounter. A conversation spanning only a few minutes was enough for Tosaka to grasp the workings of the whole situation. But that's all. She said about to suggest a way out of it. I'm going back inside. I'm not going to get involved any further in this. If you're going to try and resolve it, you'll have to do it on your own. Saying so coldly over her shoulder, Tosaka heads back indoors. Thanks, Tosaka. That's my kind of woman. Those words just slipped out for some reason. Doesn't mean that Tosaka's abandoning me. Just the opposite. Feels like she's done all she can to give me a chance. Back to silly times. Why? Oh, that's right. A guest from 5 years back, yeah. What's this? Is this a leaf for anything? Potato sorrow, no. I mean, kind of, but not really. Ooh. Who's at the bridge? Humming to myself, I make my way towards the park. My early afternoon patrol failed to turn up anything, but I can't say I'm dissatisfied with that. With weather as good as this, I can't help but be in a pleasant mood. It's such a nice day that people are lounging around instead of hurrying to wherever they're going. Nothing's happening, but this in itself could be considered a little slice of happiness, no matter how cheaply bought. A day like this is best spent in leisure, basking in one's good fortune at the company of strangers. Yeah, in the embrace of such a gentle afternoon. Oops, shit. Not anything could disturb me. Not even if a duo like these two should come along, for example. God save me, these two should show up, though. Oops, shit. Hang on, what was that just now? As I trembled at the sight of my horribly accurate amateur prophecy, I feel something coil around my leg. No, just no. I fervently crossed myself, pleading for the salvation from imminent reality. In an instant, Emi Shirou is reeled in like a common fish, while the general public goes about its business. Gotcha. I am unceremoniously dragged across the tiled ground. As the catch, my body, rolls to a stop, the red cloth disappears without a trace, evidence destroyed. And the prime suspect saunters up as if everything were just perfectly normal. Yet why do I feel like the huntress is about to skin her prey? Good day, Mirashiro. What a coincidence. I brush the dust off my body as I stand up. Of course, I should give her my meanest evil eye. My glare does its best to convey, what the hell was that? You better have a damn good reason for doing that, or else you're in for a beatdown. Are you unwell? You don't seem to be hurt. Hogar's ironclad. My glare is too low level for even to deal even a single hit point of damage. Right. I'm dealing with someone who has no concept of remorse. That is, there's no problem since she got exactly what she wanted. She would only ever admit to personal failure. Meaning that she probably sees nothing wrong with premeditated assault and kidnapping. Hey, so is this the kind of person you are? I normally don't do such things, but it was at your request this time. You asked me to engage you, and thus next time I was available. I thought I'd tilt my head in confusion. What? I asked you to do that? Indeed you did. You said, and I quote, use that fancy holy shadow of yours to tie me up good. I don't remember saying that, but in the way she puts it, it makes me sound like I'm just reaping what I sow. We did the order in such a way that what he actually said was use that fancy holy cloth of yours to snare someone in the park to talk to and talk so much. Fine. I can't remember, but it's my own fault. From now on, just approach me normally. Very well. I too had my reservations about our ability to converse in such a manner. It's a shame. She had the brighter things for once. But I wish she would take a lesson from this moment and apply that common sense to her future decisions. Anyway, hello Caren. I don't usually see you out here. I also did not expect to be speaking with you at this time. That's true. Think about it. You're never outside the church in the daytime, are you? Is it okay for you to leave now? Exceptions can be made if circumstances demand it. I can enter the town for a short time. I see. Then you want to come over to my house sometime? That sounds trying. Besides, I don't think I would get along with any of those girls. You think so? I don't know about that. Honestly, I think she's kind of like Tosaka. But we don't have any real explanation with that opinion. Well, if you change your mind, feel free to drop in. I'll make some tea for you. So, that was quite a way to get my attention, Caren. But you stopped me because you had something to say to me, right? What do you want to talk about? Did that part surprise her? What's wrong? Leaving the church actually hurt you after all? No, that's not it. You seem to be more gentlemanly than usual. I am merely surprised. I'm pretty sure we haven't spoken enough for her to say that. Well, maybe I've already heard a performance many times. Sorry, but you said this was your first time talking like this? Yes, this is the first time I've spoken to you here. We are somewhat acquainted, so I've met... We are somewhat acquainted, so we have met several times before. Please, there is no need to worry for my health. I get it. You're feeling fine then. So what did you need me for? It's not that I had a need for you. I shouldn't have said anything. But even as I intended to pass by, I noticed that you seemed happy and... Huh? What was that? I just felt seriously cold chill run down my spine. I seemed happy and what? How did that make her feel? Unexpectedly, it extended my sadistic heart. And as it was in a look of unadulterated joy, I felt I had to let you know something. That life is not a happy thing, and that people are constantly crushed by the pain and anguish of their self-destruction. That I would destroy all your complacence with but a single breath. So you just couldn't stomach the sight of me? No, I have no animosity towards you. It is merely the sight of happy people that makes me want to flay them alive. I suppose that's it. There were already signs of it before, but since coming to this town, I am becoming much more regular. Perhaps this is a new hobby of mine? It's becoming more regular. Even listening to this is disturbing. It's confusing to hear, but our intentions seem perfectly clear to me. I see. Well, that sucks. I agree. Honestly, who thought I inherited them from? We nod in unison. It's kind of sympathy, as if we just discovered we have a common enemy. I'd still like you to overlook my little bit of happiness, at least for a short while. Can't you just let me live in peace? I suppose I cannot impose on you after such a plea. But it appears to me that your joy will soon end. I don't even need to extinguish it myself. Caren abruptly turns away with displeasure. How shall I put it? She looks like a child that's had her favorite toy taken away. There was one thing I forgot to ask. Have you seen a suspicious pair in this neighborhood? One of them is large, the other small. The appearance is very noticeable, so there's no need for a full description. Or maybe it was her, I don't know. There's one thing I forgot to ask. Have you seen a suspicious pair in this neighborhood? One of them is small, the other is large. Their appearance is very noticeable, so there's no need for a full description. A suspicious pair? I don't think I've seen anyone like that. I see. I thought I've seen them around here, but they may have already moved. How dare those wretched familiars run for me? The nun lets out an oddly warm chuckle. Sister, if there's anyone suspicious around, it's you. Goodbye, Shirou. If it is fated to be, let us meet again at the church. I watch her leave, her footsteps fading into the distance. The girl, robed in her religious habit, left the park behind, not as a phantom, but as a real human being. What weird phrasing. Surely it's not indicative of anything at all. Boop. Feeling particularly restless today. What's this? Oh, it's one of those choosing ones. Written high tech. I know exactly which one that one is. That's the bidet one. Now, was that two detectives? What's that one? Ah, that's right. Wow, I've already done everything everywhere. Shit, man. This will be a fast loop. It seems to be that way, which is a little sad. I thought there'd be a little bit more. Oh yeah. That was a weird sound I just made. Oh hey. There's a Sakura. There's a Sakura. Let's take care of that one first, actually. We always go to the manor. Let's do this one first. Why are Saber and Tosaka in the hallway? I thought they'd just be talking, but they're just standing there, quietly. Or rather, they're directing some sharp stares over this way. I think I'll pretend I never saw this and go somewhere else. Just as that thought crosses my mind. Oh. So your weight is not gonna... So your weight has not gone up at all? Oh. So your weight has not gone up at all? So your weight has not gone up at all? Ryder, of course it hasn't. These voices sound like Sakura and Riders. Yep, that's what I thought. A woman's weight is a subject of great importance, but also a very delicate one. Thus, for men, it is also an exceedingly dangerous one, should they be foolish enough to bring it up. Even engaging in this act of thoughtlessly eavesdropping on a formation of women discussing it is like asking to be taken down by a swooping hip throw. So despite this, why are Saber and Tozaka just standing there? Sakura, to get bigger while losing weight, that kind of thing is not normal, not in this dimension. I wonder if that's right. Waist isn't any tighter, is it? Is that so? Excuse me. Eh? Ryder? So what are they doing over there? There's no way to know without taking a peek. Excuse me. Raising my hand, I walk past. Not like this is an undercover investigation or anything. As I turn around the corner... It's Senpai. Good afternoon, Shirou. Ryder had Sakura easily lifted up by her waist. Sakura realizes she's been seeing and jumps back in panic. Well, neither your weight nor your waist have changed. So is you doing measurements before. Ryder showing an admirable amount of chutzpah doing that. Senpai, how long have you been listening? How long? Something about body weight? I'm not saying that was a good idea. It wasn't. But I think I can claim I heard nothing. Well, I think you look the same as always. So, wouldn't it be better not to worry so much? I'll tell you right now, I didn't hear an actual number though. I'm 57 kilograms. About 125 pounds. Damn. That's light. Not very dense. Interesting. Ooh, hearing something like that will definitely bring bad luck. Still, only that for her height. She's really slender. And her sizes are... yeah. So when they're talking about Sakura getting bigger, they mean her... Senpai, why is your face all red? He's probably noticed that your chest has gotten bigger. He may not look it, but he is in fact carefully observing it right now. What? What? Sakura and I yelled in unison there. But while I was just as shocked, Sakura was pissed. Ryder, you don't need to senpai things like that. There's no point in hiding it. Sakura, you should use all the weapons at your disposal. Would now not also be a good chance to reveal the confession you have been keeping secret? It troubled me if she confessed. That's right. It'll trouble senpai. Well, I think this is something to be happy about rather than sad. That said, I'm certain there is no shortage of those who will resent you for it. Ryder shoots off a quick glance at the other side of the wall. It seems she's noticed 2 eavesdroppers. No, you saw when you get angry over something like this. Rin is a human girl as well. It would likely very much irritate her that you, Sakura, are blessed with a constitution which lets your breasts grow larger yet leaves your waist unchanged. Since the two of you are related, all the more so. No doubt, Rin, your body's a defense firmer than strongest of castles. Ryder calmly invites a bloodbath with those words. If Saber doesn't care, I'm sure of it. No, I think that's... Saber doesn't care, I'm sure of it. Sorry, Tozaka. I can't defend you in this situation.
That's right. Saber's a servant after all, so she does care about her figure. She said as much before. It seems she's complex about it, so she's saying the opposite of what she feels. I don't understand it either. Oh god, my stomach hurts. If this wall were to suddenly collapse, there'd be one ridiculous battle. I'm not even risking my life. I'm not even sure if risking my life could possibly prevent it. I can't keep breaking out in cold sweat, though. For some reason, it feels like Sakura's got a second bombshell to announce. I'm pregnant. No. Not this route. So, you know, after all, senpai? No, I don't know about your size, but compared with how you were before, you did become quite, 2 years ago, I thought you looked so thin and frail. Is it the soil or water in my house? I've seen her grow up right before my eyes. It's because you're feeding her. I really, really doubt that she's getting good meals at her place. So, to have a place where she can get like good, hearty meals is probably what's helping, at least. Just like a tree in a garden, nutrition must be the important factor, right? Yeah, there you go. That's because your cooking is so delicious, senpai. I always end up eating too much. There we go. Well, make a guy happy. That is why you need to watch your weight, Sakura. Rider shoots another glance at the other side of the wall. Her mystic eyes may be blocked by those glasses, but they seem to pierce right through the wall, casually playing with those on the other end. I'm getting too big for them again. At this rate, though, it's getting hard to find cute ones. Oh, that's right. Wait, Sakura's underwear. I better guard myself against my mind's eye. If I think about this big vest strapped to a brassiere, the main CPU will definitely overheat. You sound so lucky. There's a pair of really cute and pretty domestic styles that fit sewn for her size. There's plenty of really cute. And Saber-san could wear things from the junior section, which are also really cute. Is that so? Ravine said herself that it's the opposite when it comes to imports, did she not? I'd like her to avoid bringing in nationalistic issues in this topic. This place may have turned into a veritable woman's dorm, but I'm still a healthy young man. Jeez, fine, ignore me. Rather than just stand here, I'll just go make some tea. Sorry, senpai. I can't listen to this. You're a guy, so this must be... highly troubling, yes. Because he's a guy, he should enjoy this, right? You have a strange mentality, Ryder. Although this may be why you were a denied route, unfortunately. God, could you imagine a Ryder route? Unfortunately, we weren't able to get it in the redo, but like, could you imagine? Ryder, jeez, you've been so bad all this time. Fuck. That's because she's making fun of us, Sakura. You, me, the two behind the corner. I shall retreat for the time being. I walk towards the kitchen on unsteady feet. Those two are waiting for me with that look in their eyes. I don't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. If there was a wrongdoer, it would be Sakura's physics-defying chest. Emi-kun, would you mind coming with me for a little chat? I also have something to talk to Shirou about. Oh my, it seems that to be about the same subject. Then shall we go together? You know, I was just about to make tea for Sakura and Ryder, and myself, and maybe you guys too if you want. Oh, then I'll make it for you, say? Oh, then I'll make it for you. Saber? Understood. Rin, I shall secure Shirou in a room. She firmly grasped my arm. That seems my right to veto to remain silent, even my basic human rights are all gone. Danger, Will Robinson. That's the second time he made that reference. By having me sacrificed here, a face-to-face confrontation will be averted elsewhere, and peace will be preserved for our residents. Or not. Can't be helped. They venture nothing gained. Thus, one peaceful morning is sacrificed for stress relief. Being the only guy here sure is hard. Ooh. Lots of nice options when I'm not stuck in the outskirts here. Why don't we talk to Rider? Thank you, Shirou. Sorry for taking up your time. Oh no. It's me who should be apologizing for the intrusion. Being teased the least I can do. Taking her cup from the tray, Rider quietly nods in thanks. Everyone has their favorite cup. The one with the cat pattern is Chosaka's, the girly one Sakura's. Saber's is blue and white, such a porcelain. And Rider's is a large bisonware cup? I don't know what that is. It goes without saying that Fujini has a magnificent tiger stripe piece. Alright then. I shall devote myself to some relaxed reading this afternoon. But then, just barging in, taking a book and leaving is kind of rude. Rider, a very own bibliophile, does not seem to mind. However, she doesn't seem to have any other leisure activities. A silly scene pops into my head. For some reason you seem to be troubled. Oh, I'm more or less calm. Do you want to invite me someplace? I'm having trouble with a reply. To say that I don't would be a lie. Please don't tease me like that. I have no such intention. Not this time, anyway. Speaking of that, Shirou. What? Do you happen to know about the pool in Shinto? Ooh. Waku Waku Zabun Splash, is it? It's an indoor all-weather dome-type water resort. One dazzling title, like an okonomiyaki type made with top-grade wheat flour and eggs, put in a box and decorated with ribbons and golden leaves. That's the kind of recreational facility it aims to be. So in short, it's a pool. It's a pool. Out of nowhere, it has popped into Shinto, taking me completely by surprise. Looks like it's up and running already. Indeed it is. I was quite surprised when I found out as well. No, looks like it's up and running already. Indeed it is. I was quite surprised when I found out as well. It's rather convenient, the fact that it's open all year, whether winter or rain, that is. She keeps nodding. It's truly an impressive concept. However, seeing Rider bring up a topic like this is a bit unusual. Have you gone there already? Oh, have you gone there already? Yes, twice so far. Oh, the plot thickens. Moreover, seeing Rider, that the adult representative of the Emiya household in a swimsuit is nothing short of a luxury. Oh, so you already have a swimsuit? I chose mine while shopping together with Sakura. Would you like to see, Shirou? Don't ask with that sidelong glance. You're not leaving much room for misunderstanding. Rider putting on a swimsuit is like an ogre taking a metal club, so to speak, or Saber wielding Excalibur, quickly approaching the invincible territory. I would, but... Rider, when you went to Splash, was there any trouble? Had I been there, I would have caused some, no doubt. Yes, there were a lot of males calling out. That's because of you, Rider. But think you went to that pool alone. Well, sometimes I long for a swim, like in the past. I nod to those words. The chalk white of palace walls against the deep blue of the Aegean Sea. That's what her home must have looked like. Still, it's an interesting establishment. Still, it is an interesting establishment. You can invite one of the females to go along too. That's right. That's what she's suggesting with a smile. A pool date with a girl. So much potential. Divine punishment is inevitable. However... That aside, what bothers me is the person in front of me is talking almost as if she isn't one, pushing my luck. So why don't we go together? With me? No, I'll pass. I have a feeling it won't end well in more ways than one. I tried. Sadly, it's not the answer I hoped for. Well, only natural. Then what if Sakura was there too? Should you go with Sakura, I think you would enjoy it more without myself around. I see. Then my hopes of seeing Rider's swimsuit-clad figure has been dashed for the time being. How unfortunate. I doubt she'll agree even if I keep on persuading. As I sit there, plunged into the depth of depression, Rider sips her tea with a wry smile. Do not feel down, Shirou. With luck, perhaps a chance meeting at the pool could happen. Alright, I'll hope for it. Should my wish be granted someday, somewhere a chance to lay my eyes on swimsuit-clad Rider may manifest itself. Rider in a swimsuit. I bet you look great. Hold on. Having imagined it for a moment to notice one serious problem. Hold on, Rider. What is it, Shirou? When putting on the swimsuit, the glasses. What did you do with them? I don't think she can keep swimming with glasses on. On the other hand, she still has her mystic eyes. The kind that even the owner herself may have trouble controlling once the seal's taken off. Could it be a blindfold to go with the swimsuit? She's already incredibly hot even with her servant outfits of body-conscious blindfold. Including one with the swimsuits just going off the scale. But then Rider says laughing. Well, who knows? What do you mean, who knows? Rider, this is no laughing matter. Rider has once said, having many a secret is the key to a woman's beauty. Let us follow this thought. What's up with that? I'm really worried here. And so we ended the day. Yeah. We'll call that a loop. Alright. One final thing, I did want to look into the special stuff. Anything new in the Tesaka Shrine? Nope. I should try out the weird little earliest castles things on my own time. But I do believe that makes an episode. Oh. That was a good one, I think. Speaking of things to do on my own, I do kind of wish that, like, I could do that quiz ogre shit on my own. Like, if I can go into, what is it, extra? And the scene, there was like, quiz ogre. If I, hold on, where's my water? That's a weird extra dry spot. Or sore or something, I don't know. Anyway. If I really wanted to, I could probably on my own time just kind of go through and do that. Which I might do. Ah, shit. My throat's being weird now. We'll see how that turns out. Alright, anyway. I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day, rest of your week. Hope you guys take care of yourself. And, it is time of recording summer, so I hope you guys have been having fun. Going to pools and stuff. I used to go to pools a lot as a kid, but it's fallen out of favor with my family, the activity. Not for any particular reason. We just, reasons you don't go to places anymore. Anyway, all that aside, I hope you guys take care of yourselves, and yeah, have a good one.